Let's transport ourselves back to the twilight of 1978, a year etched in the annals of aviation history due to the mysterious flight of Frederick Valentich. The case of Frederick Valentich has been called Australia's most famous aviation mystery, not because he disappeared, but because his final radio transmissions reported a UFO. Frederick was only 20 years old, a member of the Air Training Corps, a volunteer youth cadet program sponsored by the Royal Australian Air Force. He'd had his private pilot's license for a little over a year and had a corresponding amount of flight experience. He lived with his parents and by all accounts was a fine young man with no serious problems and was happily pursuing his career of choice. At 7:06 p.m., Valentich radioed the Melbourne Flight Service to report an unidentified aircraft following him at 4,500 feet. The service told him there was no traffic near him at the time. Valentich insisted he could see a large unknown aircraft near him, which appeared to have 4 bright landing lights, all illuminated. He claimed it passed 1,000 feet above him, moving at high speed. For another 5 minutes, he reported the aircraft's movements. He claimed it moved toward him, that he thought the other pilot was toying with him, and that it was orbiting above him. The only description, besides the 4 landing lights, that Valentich was able to give was that the aircraft's exterior was a shiny and metallic, and that it had a green light on it. A few minutes after first radioing the Melbourne Flight Service, Frederick Valentich reported he was having engine trouble. The radio officials asked him once more to identify the other aircraft. "It isn't an aircraft," he managed to respond, right before the transmission was cut off. The last sound the radio officials heard was a metallic scraping sound.
Delta Sierra Juliet, is the aircraft still with you?
Yes. From the southwest.
Delta Sierra Juliet, roger. What are your intentions?
My intention is to go to King Island, Melbourne. The aircraft is bothering and properly again. And they're bothering, and it's not an aircraft. Delta Sierra Juliet, Melbourne.
The Australian Department of Transport looked into Valentich's disappearance, but was unable to find anything. A few scattered reports of civilians seeing planes landing or flying overhead were collected, but in the end, the disappearance was presumed fatal, and the case was closed. It has been proposed that Valentich became disoriented and was flying upside down. If this were the case, the lights he thought he saw would be his own aircraft's lights, reflected in the water. He would then have crashed into the water. However, the model Cessna he was piloting could not have flown inverted for long as it has a gravity-feed fuel system, meaning that its engine would have cut out very quickly. Yet another proposed possibility is suicide. However, interviews with doctors and colleagues who knew him virtually eliminated this possibility. It was the night of June 28, 1980. A night that would unfold a story veiled in mystery and shrouded by the vastness of the Bermuda Triangle. Pilot Jose Maldonado Torres and his friend Jose Pagan Santos embarked on a journey from the Dominican Republic to Puerto Rico. Little did they know, this ordinary route would plunge them into an inexplicable oblivion. Torres, at the controls, piloted the Ercoupe, a small aircraft owned by Santos's father. Both were seasoned aviators, familiar with the skies, having traversed this route numerous times. 2 hours into the flight, at 8:03 p.m., a distress call pierced the silence of the night. The frantic voices of Torres and Santos echoed through the radio waves, describing a strange object in their course, expressing a sense of lost desperation. Iberia Airlines flight IB-976, en route to Spain, intercepted the distress call. Bewildered, the Iberia pilots sought clarification, prompting the young aviators to detail their bizarre encounter with a mysterious object, altering their course and disrupting their instruments. Curiosity dominated the Iberia cockpit as they requested the small air coupe to turn on their transponder. The crackling radio held a silence pregnant with anticipation. The voices faded into an ominous static, marking the last communication with Torres and Santos. According to researcher Scott Corrales months later, Jose Antonio's mother reportedly saw him in a vision one afternoon. He was wearing a metallic green uniform with black metal boots, and told her that he had joined the extraterrestrials in their mission, and was quite safe and very happy with his new life. In the annals of unidentified aerial phenomena, one incident stands out. An encounter witnessed by over 100 people, including a former Marine and shipmate of Alan Cavines. This is the account he shared from that fateful night at the Roosevelt Roads Naval Air Station in Puerto Rico. On December 28, 1988, at approximately 7:45 p.m., a colossal triangular craft, spanning the size of a baseball field, silently emerged over the Roosevelt Roads Naval Air Station. According to eyewitnesses, the craft caught the attention of 3 F-14 fighter jets, tasked with intercepting the mysterious UFO. What unfolded in the night sky defied explanation. As the Navy fighters closed in, the large craft altered its course and slowed down almost to a standstill. The aerial dance ensued, with one F-14 maintaining proximity to the right, another approaching from behind, and a third observing from a distance. The encounter took an eerie turn when the F-14 positioned at the rear seemingly vanished as it passed over or under the UFO. Witnesses reported small red lights outside the large craft, hinting at an unexplained protective mechanism. It was as if the fighter plane had somehow been drawn into the large craft. The second aircraft made a sweep closer to the large object and was seen by one ground witness using binoculars to suddenly disappear, possibly being taken in by the UFO. The third F-14 reportedly hightailed it out of the area on afterburner, with glowing red lights chasing after it, apparently in pursuit, according to ground witnesses. Following the perplexing sequence, the unidentified craft began a controlled descent, almost to the ground. In an astonishing flash of yellow light, the colossal craft divided into 2 separate entities, swiftly darting off in opposite directions. One heading in the direction of the escaping F-14. The incident prompted immediate government intervention and an alleged cover-up. Rear Admiral David Rogers denied any aircraft mishaps or losses during that time, dismissing the entire account. What makes this sighting special is its presence over the sea. There has always been a suspicion that UFOs are hiding in our ocean, or even have some kind of base in the sea. On April 24, 2023, an alleged whistleblower made some remarkable statements on 4chan. In short, the US currently knows about UFOs. UFOs are primarily unmanned drones. UFOs are built to spec each time they are deployed. UFOs are created by a mobile construction facility that hides in the ocean. Construction facility destroys anything that comes close to it, and will disappear for days when approached aggressively. The US believes the facility has been active on Earth for at least 100 years or much longer. Could this explain the disappearance of these poor pilots? Maybe we'll get an answer soon.